This week on the Digital Coffee, you are soon going to be able to sell from Instagram Live if you're in the United States. You can screen share your phone screen with other people using video chat on Messenger, and Instagram goes all in on the QR code. All that and more after this. Good morning, and welcome to the Digital Coffee. This is your weekly dose of digital marketing and social media news. My name is Amanda Webb. One of the things that we talked about in the fabulous festive marketing masterclass, if you were there, was being able to set up some sort of online sales event. So maybe it was going to be an auction or just an online sale, and making that kind of a big content project. And that's great. You could do that live on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. There's so many places you can go live now, on YouTube. But the problem always is that it's not a seamless experience to buy directly from that. You have to set up some sort of process. You probably need some help there. And it does work, but it could work better if it was seamless. And that's what users in the USA are going to be able to do with Instagram using Instagram Live. They're going to be able to link directly to products in their shop from their live broadcasts, which of course will be fabulous. Why only in the USA? I know, because if you're watching live, you're probably not in the US, you're probably sleeping. So why is it only people in the US? Well, it's to do with their checkout tool, which they are now rolling out to all US users. And checkout is when people can actually buy directly from Facebook. They don't need to go onto a website or a payment gateway to finish their transaction. The whole thing can happen on Facebook. And obviously, that's going to take a lot of negotiation with financial institutions and the like. So they started with the US. Is it ever going to come to us? Well, it would be great if we got it before Christmas, wouldn't it, if you're a retailer? But if you don't, that's okay. They say they have long-term plans to roll it out to other regions. So I'd say we could see it next year. Obviously, they need to finish their negotiations and deal with the legal aspects, but we could see it appear next year. And it's not just that Instagram Live experience you're going to get when you get checkout. Other things that you're going to get is product launches. You'll be an Instagram product launch sticker where people can say, yeah, I want to know when that thing comes out. And you can send them a notification, which is pretty cool. Also, if you collaborate with creators, which is a fancy word for influencers, if you collaborate with creators and influencers, they'll be able to tag your products in their stories and in their Instagram posts. And I'm imagining, not having seen it in action, that will make it a lot more measurable to see, did that influencer actually, deliver sales, as opposed to just talking about your product. So all that's good, but we can sit here and be green-eyed monsters until we get it in Ireland. Where do you go when you want to buy something online? So obviously you're going to go to your small local retailers first. You want to support those. But if you wanted a really big shop that had everything in it online, where would you go? I'm guessing for most people it's going to be Amazon. As much as I try and avoid it, I do find myself ending up at Amazon an awful lot of the time. But in the future, could it be Facebook? This week, Facebook have added a shop tab. Now, I don't have this yet. I'm not sure when we're all going to have it, but it's a tab on Facebook where you can go and browse products, search for products, and buy products directly from Facebook shops. And this isn't linked to checkout. It will display all Facebook shops, which is a really cool thing because it gives us a new place to go and look for stuff. And we know there's possibly a lot more small retailers on there than you would find on Amazon. So that's kind of interesting. But also, they're adding a message tab. So this is kind of small. I'm not sure if you can see it, but the message tab will sit underneath the add to basket tab. So if you want to buy something but you're not sure, you have a question before you buy it. How big is this? How much is shipping? You know, something that isn't provided on the product page, you'll be able to message the business via WhatsApp, Messenger, or Instagram Direct, and they'll be able to respond. And this is brilliant. I'm telling you, this is brilliant because we know that having this sort of facility on a website will make more customers convert. If they're hovering on the edge and they're just not buying because they don't know the answer to that question, there it is. They can message you straight away and get the answer they need and actually buy the product. It does mean one of two things. You're either going to need to be online all the time or hire someone to be online all the time to answer those questions, or you're going to need to get a chatbot that answers frequently asked questions in between when you can't get online directly. But if you can't answer immediately, it doesn't necessarily mean you've lost the sale, because when you come back to people, you are giving them the little reminder of what it is that you sell, so there is a chance of converting them there as well. If you're like me and you work with a lot of clients online in digital marketing, it can be a little bit difficult to help your clients do specific tasks, particularly if they're using mobile. We know with Zoom, and I think even Rooms now, we can share screens using those. But what if it's on mobile? It's like you've got a few options. You could record your screen and say, this is how you do something, and do a tutorial on your screen, which is great, and send it on to the client. But maybe they don't follow that process step by step and you can't see where they went wrong. Or you could use Zoom, but actually hooking up your mobile phone to Zoom is a little bit complex and it takes a little bit of time. And again, you're expecting your client to be able to do that as well. So when you're doing things like that, nightmare. Until now, because Facebook Messenger is now letting you share your mobile phone screen in video chats. So that's going to be great. If a client's having a problem, you'll be able to get them to share their screen and you'll be able to see what's going wrong for them. What is the issue? Is it a platform issue, or is it something they're maybe not doing correctly? That's going to be interesting. Also, you'll be able to do that en masse, because you can have a number of people in a video call or a room. So you'll be able to do maybe little online trainings, although I wouldn't trust Rooms for that just yet. Also, what if you're planning a project with a client and you want to show them a video, or you want to show them multiple versions of an image? Instead of having to upload them and then discuss them, you could share your phone screen with all of them in and be able to have that video discussion as you're showing it to them. I'm a big fan of this. I like this a lot. I think I'm going to give you a big thumbs up. Do you have your Twitter direct messages open? That means that not just the people you follow, but anyone can message you on Twitter. Like, you might have this because you do a lot of customer service via there, or maybe you'd like people to ask you questions on Twitter. Maybe Twitter is your key network and you use direct messaging in Twitter. I have to say, I don't very much. So I think mine are closed. Can't remember now. I have to go and check. But one of the problems here is that if somebody was direct messaging you via Twitter and you had open messages, you really couldn't tell who they were. It came in as a message request, but you didn't know anything about that person. So if you're female, you'd be getting a lot of those, hello, lovely lady. I just looked at your profile photo and you are beautiful. You'd be getting those messages. Get them everywhere, probably more so on Twitter. So I didn't have open messages for that reason. But now you're going to be able to see more about the people who send you those direct messages. So first up, before you even open the message, you'll be able to see how you're connected to those people. So it will show you followers that you have in common. So straight away you might feel a little bit more comfortable that it's not a hello lovely lady message before you open it. And then when you open it, it's going to give you a summary of the bio of the person who is messaging you. So it will tell you a little bit more about them, give you a little bit more context to the conversation. And before this, we would have necessarily gone and clicked through and looked at their bio to find out more about them. This is just taking some of the pain out of those direct messages. I think this is good. I think Twitter are putting a lot of effort into direct messaging and making it a better space for us to converse, because they are way behind WhatsApp, Messenger, Instagram Direct, LinkedIn messaging in getting those private conversations going. And if they continue with tools like this, it's something I may use even more. Does anyone use QR codes? Well, actually, yes, people do. Maybe not so much in Europe and the United States, but QR codes are huge in China and Japan. And I actually find I'm using them more because it's very handy. If you've got an iOS device, you just need to scan it with your camera and it'll bring you directly to, or it will do whatever it's supposed to do. So it's really handy. Here's a tip. If you want to connect to somebody's Wi-Fi, you can scan the QR code and it will connect you without you having to type in all the numbers. So handy. And also I've seen a few people have them on presentations, which is great. You can just scan it and get the presentation rather than having to type in an address to get that extra bit of the conversation, of the presentation. I've also used them on LinkedIn. I used the LinkedIn QR code. It used to be my screensaver until I got my new phone, and people could scan my QR code directly from the lock screen on my phone and connect with me on LinkedIn, which I found brilliant. Well, Instagram are changed their connection code to a QR code. So they launched these last year. They were kind of cool and funky looking, but you had to scan them from the Instagram camera. They have just changed these to being QR codes, which means somebody doesn't have to open Instagram. They can just scan from their camera, or you'll need an app add-on if you're on Android to bring people directly to your Instagram profile. So if you're out and about and networking a lot, you'll be able to easily connect with people via Instagram. Part of me thinks that this is actually going to be a fabulous way to connect more people, and Instagram is becoming more like Twitter. It's becoming the place where people follow people that they meet. So it'll be fabulous for that. If you're not following me on Instagram, just saying, if you're not following me on Instagram, point the right way, Amanda. Point the right way. That way, Amanda. You're not following me on Instagram, this is where you can follow me. You may remember last week I was a little bit confused. I was confused because Facebook owns Giphy, and Giphy had just launched Zoom backgrounds. So you're able to get animated GIF Zoom backgrounds. And I was like, this is weird. Surely they launched Rooms. So they don't want to encourage more people to use Zoom. They want people to use Rooms. Well, this week it seems they are going to enable custom backgrounds on Rooms. So you're going to be able to use those Giphy backgrounds on Rooms. They're going to use it on mobile. So you'll be able to add really cool backgrounds. You'll be able to use video backgrounds, you use graphics, or those Giphy backgrounds. And the thing I like about backgrounds, even though I can't use them on my computer because my computer doesn't deal with them, it doesn't enable them. What I love about backgrounds is it doesn't matter where you are. You can always be on brand if you have a custom background. So say I was going to go and do this show from somewhere else next week, I could just take a photograph of my background and I would still, as far as you know, be in that background. Now I'd have to use a green screen for that at the moment, but with backgrounds on mobile, you can always look like you're in your office. You can always be on brand, no matter what is in the background. So I think they're really smart. I think it's interesting they're developing into Rooms. There are a few glitches with Rooms that need to be sorted out. Firstly, turns out you can't mute everyone in a room. You can't mute anyone else, which is a problem if everyone starts talking at the moment, or somebody was talking about, if somebody had some background noise playing, you just have to kick that person out of the room. You won't be able to mute them. Secondly, I find it is just really glitchy. Sometimes you can hear people, sometimes you can't. But I do see Facebook developing this into a bigger tool. So backgrounds for Rooms, that's great. They're also going to be adding discoverability tool, so it's going to be easier for people to find your room. You're going to be able to message people to get them to come to your room, and if you've set up a room yourself, it should appear right at the top of your Messenger tab. So they're going to improve this product. They're dedicated to this product, and I do think they're going to try and take down Zoom. Instagram are testing group stories. And group stories will work a little bit like Snapchat group stories. So you'll be able to get a group of friends together and they'll be able to collaborate on a story, but it's not going to go out to the world. No, the only people that will be able to see it are people in that group. And I think this is fabulous. I think this is a better way to communicate than WhatsApp, because in fairness, most of the messages I get in my family WhatsApp group, they're all photographs. So doesn't it make sense to use a more visual tool for your stories? So this is a way that we'll be able to share conversations that way without having to write text, or be more creative, be more visual. I like this. I also like this for communicating with customers, because again, we can use visual tools to show customers ideas, to collaborate on ideas and projects. Visually is such a nice platform for doing that. I could see this really taking off with groups of people who are more into Instagram than WhatsApp. I'd be interested to know what you might use this tool for.